Will anybody play by them? These days, politics could use a little refereeing. And we're not afraid to blow the whistle.
Every day brings two things in the impeachment saga: more evidence of the corrupt coercion by the president, Rudy Giuliani, and his team, and ever more creative attempts to excuse, deny, lie, and just whatabout away the facts by Republicans. Today's latest entry in this comes from South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who first stuck to his stance of hear no evil, see no evil.
I heard something yesterday I could not believe. Former impeachment manager Lindsey Graham says he's not going to read the impeachment transcripts. Really?
I'm not going to read these transcripts. The whole process is a joke.
Graham then went on to basically argue that Trump is not guilty by virtue of, well, incompetence.
What I can tell you about the Trump policy toward the Ukraine, it was incoherent. It depends on who you talk to. They seem to be incapable of forming a quid pro quo. So, no, I find the whole process to be a sham, and I'm not going to legitimize it.
I'm joined now by Neera Tanden, president of the progressive group, the Center for American Progress, and former Republican Congressman David Jolly of Florida, an MSNBC political analyst who has called on Graham to resign if he can't be bothered to read the impeachment transcripts. Neera, what do you make of the shift? I mean, Lindsey Graham is sort of he's a kind of entrepreneur in this space. He's kind of constantly trying out new ideas for this. What do you make of the ever-shifting rationale and arguments?
You know, when my daughter was 3 years old and she was confronted with some bad facts, she basically put her hands over her ears and would say, la, 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 la. I mean, essentially, I think what we saw from Lindsey Graham is that he is incapable of defending the president at this point. He really cannot give an answer. And so he's just going to take his marbles and go home. But the problem for Lindsey Graham is he is a United States senator, paid his salary by the American people to do a job. And part of that job is upholding the Constitution. And upholding the Constitution is going through an impeachment process. And he will be a juror. So my view is this is a dereliction of duty. And if he's unwilling to do his job, he should. I would agree with others who have said he should resign. David, you said that he should resign for the same reason. He also, the incompetence argument he used today, I've seen it starting to bubble up. I think the Wall Street Journal made a version of it and Rush Limbaugh. And that was a Steve Bannon argument back around Russian collusion, right? That we were too, right. It was the gang that couldn't shoot straight. So what do you want us to do? We couldn't pull this off. What do you think of that?
Well, look, in the eyes of the law and the Constitution, that argument does not work. What the president did is still impeachable behavior. And if that's going to be the final closing argument by Senator Graham, then it's one more shameful moment from a shameless politician who's failing the nation right now in avoiding what is a constitutionally consequential moment. And what we're seeing in Lindsey Graham, we're seeing from other Republicans as well, which is in this embrace of Donald Trump. They are turning their back on the nation. And there's no other way to look at this. Look, Lindsey Graham could work hard to study the issues and say, you know what, I've studied it. There's not the level of culpability that our founders envisioned for impeachment. Right. Make that case to the American people, and you might persuade them. You truly might persuade the people that this is not an impeachable moment. Republicans aren't even trying, though. That is a great point, Neera. They're not trying at this point to persuade. They're trying to hold the base. They're trying to hold a certain amount of people in the tent as opposed to persuading people who might be on the fence. And I think you see that in the arguments they're making, right, which are not very effective at persuasion. I think the real problem for them is that they have waited too long against each of their arguments. A majority of the public now believes that the president should be removed. I mean, we're at 50%. A strong majority support the inquiry. If they had made arguments about this is not an impeachable offense at the beginning, much like Democrats did with Bill Clinton, then I think that they would have created a lot more friction for public opinion. But they held to Trump like he demands. And now I think the facts are so difficult for them because, honestly, I think the American people have judged this. 66% of the American people think what this kind of behavior is wrong. And I think it's very close to say it should be punished. And now there's going to get a public airing, David, starting a week from today. Yes, that's right. And Republicans are still in disarray. They're putting Meadows and Jordan on the committee because right now Devin Nunes, and I know my former colleague Heck said is a vote of no confidence in Devin Nunes. That's right. Right now, the lead Republican on what has become the quasi-impeachment committee, the House Intelligence Committee, is embroiled in suing a fake cow because he got his feelings hurt on Twitter. That is the lead Republican in the impeachment proceeding. So listen, Schiff has both Republicans where they want him, and he's got the president where he wants him. I think the American people are going to learn a lot starting next week about the president and about Republicans.
Neera Tanden.
Yeah, I would just say I would expect public opinion to move against the president after the public.
That is the big test. I'm really curious if that happens. Neera Tanden, David Jolly, thank you both for being with me. That is all in for this evening. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.